The thing I love most about JavaScript is that it's very empowering. If you know JavaScript, you look at the web in a different way. You have the ability now to write scripts and write code to interact with other different websites, to mash up data sets, to display data in a visual way that you may not have had before, and to access certain data from companies like Stripe or Spotify that you might not have access to as the user. So there's a lot of power in there, and it's really exciting. So what we're going to do here is I want to show you a few examples of what that might look like. And my goal for this course is that by the end of this 4 weeks, the things that I'm showing you now will look way less intimidating. And not only that, you will know, or you'll have at least a sense of confidence in how to start with these services, because there's a lot out there to you if you have, again, just like the fundamentals of knowing how to use JavaScript and read APIs and all that kind of stuff. The first service I'm going to show you is Optimizely. So Optimizely allows you to do A/B testing. That basically allows you to test out different versions of your homepage, for example, to see which version people stay on the most or spend the most money on, or whatever those kind of things. I'll put some links down below if you don't know what A/B testing is. There's a whole thing here, and there's a really great blog post on some A/B testing stuff. But regardless, it's a really important part, and it's something that we do here 1 month. And to use this service, to set it up as a salesperson or a business owner or a developer, whoever you are, you need to learn a little bit of JavaScript just to know where to put in the snippet, for example. And this is a really common practice, that to use a lot of these services, you have to copy in some JavaScript code. And just kind of knowing the super basics of where to find that and where to put it, and maybe how to change some parameters, can be really useful. And this will be really easy to do by the end of this course. Really, by the end of the first maybe 2 weeks, we'll know how to do that. And once you get into Optimizely, it's really cool. This is our Optimizely looking in here, because knowing a little bit of JavaScript and HTML and JavaScript allows you to edit this in real time. So whereas most people who are setting this up, if they don't know how to code, they kind of have to rely on the interface, and you don't get the full richness of all the things you could do. But JavaScript allows you, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript really allow you to edit and go into each of these looking at the code. So that's going to be really empowering to learn as well. There's a lot of other great services out there. Some that we will look at, we'll be looking at the SoundCloud API, like I said. So if you want to grab music, this will all make sense. We'll look at this and some of the basic code for getting started with SoundCloud. We won't look at Stripe, but Stripe is a really powerful one to be aware of. Stripe allows you to run some code, and here you can see Stripe.js. That's the JavaScript implementation of Stripe that will allow you to take payments. So this is a really cool one to be aware of. Another one that's cool to be aware of is Darksky. They have an API that you can access with JavaScript, and you can get weather data. So that's really cool. And Google has Google Charts. And we will look at this a little bit in the 4th week, some of what Google is working on. And Google Charts allows you to use JavaScript and their framework there to take data and visualize it. And you can make all of these amazingly beautiful interactive charts, again, just knowing a little bit of JavaScript. So this is the future. This is where you could be headed if you kind of stick on the path. And that's really the curriculum that I set up here. This course is really about doing things with JavaScript and doing what I really see as being like the bulk of what developers are doing using this language. It's not about just like running math equations and little games for fun and exercises. Like, I think all that stuff is good, but I think a lot of people stop learning JavaScript if you've tried before doing that stuff, because it's like, why am I doing this? And I want to try to make this as real world as possible. And with that said, we will have some exercises along the way just to kind of reinforce things, and we'll figure it out. So I'm excited. I hope all of this looks really, really exciting to you as well. And if so, please stick around. We're going to do a lot more. All right.